And she said, I cannot do anything because it's in Cancun, not in Playa del Carmen. We did all the investigation. We went to Cancun multiple times, driving on the streets. I made a mistake number 2 here. As a foreigner, I didn't lie to get my car back. Maybe we could help them out of mercy or out of shame to do one thing right, at least in their lifetime.
Damas y caballeros, ¿cómo les va? Bienvenidos a Fraudeame la Nave. En esta ocasión estoy con un caso muy peculiar y un caso que a lo mejor como producto visual no le va a gustar mucho porque es en inglés. No es Fraudeame la Nave internacional porque no estamos agarrando casos de otros países. Desafortunadamente es un caso que sucede en México a una persona extranjera. Y creo yo que es una historia bien triste porque gente que viene de otro lado a querer vivir aquí, porque es un lugar muy bonito, porque incluso, y ahorita lo van a escuchar, hay raíces mexicanas, pues terminan yéndose a otro lado, porque en México, aunque a muchos no les parezca, aunque a muchos no les guste, nos gusta vivir en la mierda y nos gusta vivir sin un Estado de Derecho. Y desafortunadamente no es el monto, no es el bien, es el hecho y es que no hay garantía de nada en este país, tristemente. Para nosotros ya es normal verlo de esta manera, para la gente que viene de fuera no. Así que bueno, en esta ocasión tenemos una entrevista en inglés. Les voy a poner los subtítulos. Por favor, si no le gusta leer, si no quiere verla, evíteme la pena de bloquearlo porque no faltará quien comente estupideces en la parte de abajo. ¿Ok? Esta creo yo que es la mejor forma de hacerlo. Ya hemos hecho entrevistas aquí en inglés, así que espero que sea de su agrado y desafortunadamente pues para la gente que le escuche en formato podcast, si no sabe inglés, pues no lo va a poder escuchar. Pero bueno, doy la bienvenida aquí a Spring. ¿Cómo estás?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Bien, muchas gracias. Pues cuéntanos un poco de dónde eres, por qué estás aquí, para que podamos entender de esta forma tu historia.
Okay, see, I'm from Canada and moved to Mexico in the Cancun, Playa del Carmen area a year ago. We always loved the warm weather and it seemed like people were nice and friendly. And of course, the food was fresh, everything. So that's why we kind of wanted to choose this place as an early retirement place for us.
Ok, tú me comentaste que tu esposo tenía algunos parientes, ¿no? Algunas raíces mexicanas. ¿Me puedes hablar un poco de eso?
Sí, his grandpa was a Mexican, but he grew up in Canada, so always kind of somewhat, I think there was a special connection there that he always wanted to move to Mexico.
Ok, entonces vienes a vivir a México, tú crees que aquí el clima es mejor, tú crees que la gente es amable, pero a pesar de todo esto, viviste una muy mala experiencia hace algunos meses. Cuéntame qué es lo que pasó.
Yeah, so in January, we wanted to sell my car, so my husband put it on the Facebook marketplace. And there was of course, there was a couple of inquiries, and then this young fellow, Mexican young fellow said, oh, I'm going to university. My dad was looking for a car for me, and can I have luck? And it was I think my husband said, oh my God, we have a kid that age too, so that's great. The parent can help the kid. And he looked like a very nice kid, dressed clean and speak. Well, he said he doesn't speak English, but...
Tristemente, hay muchas historias alrededor de estos tipos, historias a veces muy conmovedoras, historias a veces muy creíbles. Ya sabemos la historia de el militar que está fuera en comisión, pero quiere el vehículo para su esposa y lo va a mandar a revisar y hace el depósito a distancia. En este caso, esta persona que quería el vehículo supuestamente para ir a la universidad y el papá se lo iba a comprar y hace también el depósito a distancia. Desafortunadamente, muchas veces la gente cae y entrega el vehículo. ¿Cuál era el vehículo que tú estabas intentando vender?
The car was a 2014 Escape Ford, white color, and we kept the car really clean. It has 89 kilometers, and we had all the detailed work done. My husband literally changed every part that was not working properly on the car after we bought it. So he knew exactly where there was a chip on the car and where the mat, like even the mats in the car, like he knew everything because he literally fixed and cared the car by himself. So.
Ok, entonces este muchacho llega, te cuenta esa historia y después, ¿qué es lo que sucede?
And at the same time, he said, "Oh yeah, I love this car. My dad will pay the money." So, and about the same time, I think the whatever dad, of course, we never knew it was a fake dad. Of course, sent over the pictures with our bank, a slip from our bank. On the picture, there was our account information. There was a 260,000 pesos deposited into our account. And then we checked our account. It showed the total balance of our account, had that 260,000 pesos. But once.
Perdón, ¿de qué banco es tu cuenta?
HSBC, Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did check the bank account. It shows the balance, total balance was up. But one thing, I think, because the guy was talking to us and all those things at the same time, so we didn't verify if it was a spade payment, Okay. So then, everything was kind of good. He was very pleasant, polite, and then I didn't. The only thing is I didn't sign over the factura because I felt like I don't know. I didn't do banking here, so I didn't know because I was only here for a year, so. But my husband said, yeah, this young guy, he took the bus from Cancun to here, and seems like the money is in the bank, so maybe he can drive the car. And then we signed over the bill, next day. But he wanted to take the paperwork, so that's kind of we kind of had a moment of empathy, right? Like, oh, young guy, nice, and a family, dad helping him, so. He took the call, and then 1 hour later, my husband called a HSBC and say, "Just want to verify if the money in the bank." And HSBC said, "Oh, yeah, it's in this branch on the Fifth Avenue," which was a wrong location. But they said, "Yeah, the check won't be cleared until tomorrow." That's when we said, "Okay, holy fuck."
Estamos en problemas.
Mm-hmm. So, but that was already evening time, so I went to Playa del Carmen Public Ministry to file the police report. So lessons learned number one, never trusted a Mexican with a whatever car, like a card or check or whatever thing, right? If it needs to be spayed, it needs to be spayed, and you want to make sure the money is actually in the bank. The second one actually was very funny because I told the lawyer at the public ministry exactly what happened, and he kind of looked at me with a very puzzled eyes, and he understood English, of course, typed the report in Spanish, and then asked the translator to sign as a kind of because I didn't speak Spanish. But later on, one of our Mexican friends said, "You made a mistake number 2 there. You should have reported as a stolen vehicle instead of telling them all the whole truth, because the police treated those 2 cases differently." And I said, fraud is a crime. It's probably more serious crime than a stolen vehicle. But that's obviously not the same manner in Mexico.
No en México.
Yeah, fraud is almost something that can be forgiven. And
Y es por eso que vivimos de esa manera, porque realmente no castigamos este tipo de delitos.
Yeah, and in our world, fraud is much more serious crime than of course, car robbery, stealing vehicle is a serious crime, but fraud is something deeper, right? Because you're touching and cheating the financial system, and that is the backbone of the country, but obviously not in Mexico. So, and without understanding that, I made a mistake number 2 here. As a foreigner, I didn't lie to get my car back. So. Story continue. So I was tenacious and determined to get my car back. So I used that report and followed up at Fiscalia in Playa del Carmen, And of course, there was a lot of wishy-washy. Oh, you come back 2 weeks later, you will see the case in the system. So I waited and went back, and of course, there was an investigator signed. She was a younger lady. I think I still have her name. I can send you the contact.
Please.
Yep. And she said, oh, yeah, I'm doing the investigation, and I talked to the bank, and but this is what happened, and you need to be patient. So 2 months later, nothing. So I went back again, say, where's your investigation? Oh, the bank said they need a time to investigate. So I followed up with the bank, and we walked into a branch, and they said, oh, this is the wrong branch. Your deposit was in another branch. So I was actually shocked that a international bank like HSBC wouldn't help their client to investigate such a serious crime. So, but anyway, eventually they give us the fake check and say, yeah, we don't know. And the check came from a Banregio. We also contacted them. Oh, nothing we can do. You're on your own. So yo. Holy fuck, so nobody going to help us. I even contacted Conducef.
Conducef, yeah.
Sí,
yeah.
Esta institución para seguir todo lo relacionado al sistema financiero, sí, Conducef.
Yeah. Then their response was, oh, it's we bank didn't do anything wrong. It's your own mistake. Basically, that's what it is. Okay. So anyway, finally, I got hold of the lawyer in Fiscalia. She looks a very competent young lady, very sharp, but she said, yeah, we cannot help you because there is a fraud. And I said, well, the car is taking from us without paying us. It's by technical definition. It's a robbery and stealing. So she said, yeah, but you have to do something to flag that in the system. So we did.
¿Cuánto le pagaste a ella?
15,000 pesos. So, and a very interesting thing, before that happened, we actually found that car on Facebook Marketplace in Cancun. And my husband and I were driving in Cancun, and we had a Mexican friend contacted that seller. It's a fake account, Facebook account. I have all the paperwork and the screenshots from that ad. It was in February.
Okay.
So we found that car in a dealership across the Fiscalia, Cancun.
¿En un concesionario, de verdad?
Yep. And I have the dealership contact information and the video clip from the owner too. And but that day we didn't flag the car in the system, Rupivo as a flag, as a robbery. So we found the vehicle 100%. It's still my plate and my VIN number, everything.
Okay.
The dealership said, well, I have this signature from Factura, and I checked and it wasn't mine. It's a forged signature, right? So we called 911 because that was everybody telling us, including the lady, the prosecutor from Fiscalia. Guess what? 911 showed up and say, oh yeah, it's not flagged in the system, so you cannot do anything.
Entonces la policía no te ayudó.
No, I showed the police report we filed with the case number, the picture of the vehicle. They didn't even look at the paperwork and say, yeah, no, I can't see anything in the system. So you're on your own. Sent us away. That's when we talked to the prosecutor in Playa Common, and she said, oh yeah, you need to, in order to flag in the system, you need to pay. That's where the 15,000 pesos come into play. And back then we consulted the lawyer in Playa Common and Cancun. They both said the same thing. That's the only way you're going to get your case resolved, just to pay. And I believe I contacted you back then as well, and that was the same kind of response. Right? So we did pay. Yeah. Guess what? I thought once we paid, then the car was in the dealership, and we had the dealership's name, card, and the contact information and ID. We thought it was an easy case. Guess what?
No fue fácil.
Nothing. So we went back to the Fiscalia, the prosecutor's office, and she said, I cannot do anything because it's in Cancun, not in Playa Common. I need to send a coordination report, and it's a long process. And I said,
Pero es el mismo estado. O sea, no estás cambiando de estado, no tendrías por qué mandar otro oficio a otra fiscalía.
Exactly, right?
Quintana Roo.
Exactly, but no. Oh no, it's a Cancun. We have played a Carmen and blah blah. So nothing happened, and we went back to the dealership, and the car was gone. So we asked the dealer over there. My husband was so tenacious to get the car back to me, and he said, "Yeah, sorry, I let the guy to take the vehicle back, and I have his contact information, but I'm not going to tell you. You are not one of us. So pretty much like you're on your own." So 1 month later, nothing happened. There was nothing. So we kept going back to the prosecutor's office, and she said, "Yeah, I haven't sent out to the coordination report. The bank didn't give me any footage." So, and I said, "How, like, what we should do?" And she said, "Well, you just wait." So we waited, and what else happened in between? I actually talked to the boss of the prosecutor, the one who's supposed to be responsible for the coordination between the Playa del Carmen Fiscalia versus Cancun Fiscalia, and nothing happened. I wrote the request letter, blah blah, nothing. Okay, so 6 months passed, nothing happened. We were still looking and looking, and the one thing we did manage to get it down is the original vehicle, 2014 white Ford Escape with a plate number. My plate number was flagged in the Repivo as a robbery, but the insurance didn't want to deal with it, and they said, "Yeah, this is not a robbery case," and nobody helped us. So last week, suddenly we saw another ad on Facebook Marketplace. My husband was very sensitive to car because he loved the car since he was a boy, and he fixed the cars, many cars, and especially this car was me and mine, and he felt guilty, right? So he paid great detailed attention to all the ads, and here you go, my car on the Facebook Marketplace and another fake account. However, it had a 2016 Ford Escape I title, and it's in Cancun with the exact same description. The mileage matches, everything matches, and he even zoomed the pictures and exactly my car, because there was a little chip at the back side of the left, the light. There was a little chip, and he touched every part of the car, so he knew that's your car. Guess what? We went to Selfie Plan, asked a friend, and said, "Can you check this car for us?" Of course, he wouldn't tell us all the details, right? Yeah. But he said, "Yeah, this car is under a different plate number and a different VIN number." And I said, how that could happen? It's 2014. When the people took the car, get to the plate, you could scan it, and it's easily to tell you what the car is, right? Actually is. And when we register our car, obviously the guy at Selfie Plan said, "Oh, we scan everything. We can find any vehicle in Mexico, no problem. It's easy." Pero, exactly, money. So yeah. He didn't ask for money. He's a decent young man, but he said, within my power, I cannot do anything. So you should go back to the Fiscalia. So we went, and we hired a lawyer this time. The lawyer asked for 20,000 pesos.
Ok, entonces has gastado 35,000?
Yeah. Well, we paid, we met the lawyer in Cancun. He helped us to fix one problem before. So we thought, being young, he's a young, ambitious, looks like a smart young Mexican lawyer. Maybe he will have some sort of integrity. Like, I really want to help you, because that's how we kind of got to believe him in the first place. He said that Mexico has become a very corrupt country, and I want to do everything I can to reverse that or correct that. Right? And they said, "Wow, great! There's some good Mexican lawyer here, and not only after money, but wanting to do something right." So that's kind of a promising and a hopeful, right? Well, for a foreigner like us, we wanted to believe good, So he took us to the Fiscalia, and guess what? Same prosecutor. He said, "Yeah, we cannot do anything. I cannot do anything because it's not even your plate, and it's not a 2014 vehicle." And I say, "Wow, it's a live case." We did all the investigation, and we also prepared a comparison report between my vehicle, the 2014, and this fake 2016, and we prepared a report, showed her all the evidence that this is identical car, but with a fake set of ID. I know we cannot do. So the lawyer actually really helped to find the investigator and the command of the investigation police department. So they sat together and they say, yeah, we can help, but let's set up a meeting with this Facebook seller, and then we can scan the car and then identify it. Because if somebody bought this car as is, it will be another fraud. So fraud on top of fraud, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, there's hope. Actually, investigator got involved, and this time it's different investigator, because that lady in the first place who was investigating my case for some reason stopped talking to me and said, yeah, I'm too busy, or in Spanish, I use a Google translator. I said, I have something more important to do, so your case is not with me. So anyway, so we had some hope. And of course, after 2 weeks, nothing happened. So we started making contacts with that fake guy, and he was very careful this time. Asked for my number, and I didn't wanted to give him my real WhatsApp number. So I gave him my other number, and never contacted me. Okay. Then the 2 weeks later, we followed up with the lawyer and the investigator. Basically, they're saying, oh, you need to make an appointment with them. But if you pay another 20,000 pesos, we can flag the new plate in the Repeal as a robbery.
No.
That's when I realized it is total a scam from the law enforcement system. And my thinking this time really changed, because the first time when I paid, I said, well, maybe this could buy some of the path to solve the case. But the second time again, I just realized really, like, they are just milking us.
Tristemente, lo único que quieren es dinero, no les importa realmente si tienes algún resultado o no, y si tú haces la cita con el vendedor para que ellos vayan, te van a pedir dinero, así que termina siendo lo mismo. Tristemente, todo es dinero aquí.
Yeah, so eventually I did the math and say, holy fuck, like, we don't know how much more we need to pay down the road before we can actually see the car again, right? Because police has all the power. They have all the tools to get to the case, because it's registered in the SEFI plan with this fake plate number and a fake ID. Anyone with a little bit conscious would, from a SEFI plan or police, would scan the car and then the case will be resolved. But
ellos definitivamente no quieren hacer nada, porque aparte ellos reciben dinero de estas bandas.
So if the car got changed and with more fraud cases, they can potentially get more money.
Sí, sin duda.
Yeah, it's like that's when everything, like all the faith, the good faith I had for this place, for some sort of a legal system in Mexico, totally crashed. Because we did all the investigation. We went to multiple times, driving on the streets just to check the car. Because once you lose a car that is very valuable to you, you become sensitive to all the cars on the street. And we were like two crazy people driving in Cancun on the street, and it's just like, wow, look at all the police. They have so many police cars on the road with the cameras everywhere, and they have access to the information. But when you talk to them, it's like, oh, money, and we cannot help you. You made a mistake. That was the first thing that told me. And I say, yes, that's why I'm paying to correct my mistake. But is there a price, total price, for my mistake in this country? What is the price?
Es el precio de creer en otras personas, es el precio de vivir aquí en México.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
¿Y qué vas a hacer ahora?
Well, I guess I'm at this point, I certainly don't want to pay more, because I know even if we paid more, the new plate, I sent you the information already. You're very welcome to use your judgment to post it on your channel.
Okay.
And I know if I paid money to flag that new set of a plate number in the repeal, guess what? The criminals can easily use another set of a new ID. So I will be like chasing a ghost. However, the ghost doesn't disappear, right? It's still in the system. I just hoping one of the people in this entire country who has the access to the system, who has the power or in the position to do the right thing, could see this video and say, yeah, maybe we have fucked those foreigners, gringos enough. Maybe we could help them out of mercy or out of a shame to do one thing right, at least in their lifetime. That's all I'm asking for.
Y bueno, pues desafortunadamente aquí tenemos otro problema, porque ese vehículo al tener otro número de placa y tener otro número de serie, cuando lo vendan va a haber otra víctima y vamos a tener otra víctima de fraude y vamos a tener otra persona que esté en riesgo de perder su dinero porque pues ya es otro vehículo. Así que es la historia que nunca termina.
No, so you have reported or revealed thousands of bad fraud cases related to the vehicle on your channel. That's why you had such an influence, on the people here. So based on your experience, what would be your word of advice? What can I do? Or we basically just say, sorry, amiga, you are fucked.
Es una situación complicada porque si yo te digo que sigas metiendo más dinero bueno en el dinero malo, al final puede ser que hayas perdido todo tu dinero y no recuperes tu vehículo de vuelta. Y bueno, realmente no te puedo decir el futuro, no sé qué va a pasar después de este video, pero al menos espero que la gente de Cancún, de Playa del Carmen, se dé cuenta, uno, que ese vehículo es remarcado, y dos, que ese vehículo fue obtenido de una forma ilegal, fue robado, fue por fraude, como haya sido, pero es un vehículo que fue obtenido de forma ilegal. Así que yo creo que no puedes hacer algo más, no pudiste haber hecho algo más. Espero que este video llegue a los ojos de las personas correctas y te puedan ayudar, pero sin duda alguna no puedo predecir el futuro.
Yeah, of course not, right? It's Mexico. But I did get a tip from a very smart American friend. He said, when next time you see that vehicle, crash it. Yeah. Drive into the car. Is it?
Sí, sin duda alguna es una buena idea. Si no va a ser para mí, tampoco va a ser para ti.
And then maybe the police gonna have to do some actual investigation and say, okay, we have to do some work now.
Ok, no lo creo, pero espero. Y bueno, después de todo esto, que sin duda alguna ha sido vergonzoso, ¿vas a continuar viviendo en este país? Como sea, ¿vas a continuar viviendo en este país?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And a friend, thank you for the opportunity. Actually, we will also start doing something in our own little world to make sure people know this stuff. Because a lot of expats coming down here with such a good hope, oh, this is so lovely, Mexican people so friendly, until they got robbed. But even that, they still want to cover the ugliness. And actually on the Facebook pages, many expats pages, every time we try to make some real comment about living here, what's the truth, and be careful about this, they remove our comments and say, oh, it's the worst in the United States, it's the worst somewhere else. And I said, wow, okay, if you try to so hard to cover the ugly truth, guess what? It's not helping. It just makes the ugliness go uglier. And one day it will become uncontrollable. And I feel sorry for those expats who have a blindfolded on. And also, I just don't know how the Mexican people are seeing this. Is it part of the normal, or you guys just so used to it, you just shake your hand and say, yeah?
Sí, desafortunadamente estamos acostumbrados y cada año que pasa, cada año que se hace más grande este problema. Y no podemos ir a otro país. Es por eso que estamos aquí. Porque estoy seguro que si muchos mexicanos se pudieran ir a otro país, ya lo hubieran hecho. Pero al menos en mi caso, en este momento no me puedo ir, así que sigo viviendo aquí.
Yeah, but you are doing your best to at least telling the truth and help people to open their eyes. And I hope I saw some of the cases got resolved with your help. So that's promising. So you asked me early on about what next to do. I guess next year I was just hoping with your influence in Mexico on the social media, I just needed one person with some heart and a conscience to help me, but one person in the right position to help me.
Okay. Espero que lo encontremos, a él o a ella, no sé. Bueno, vamos a estar en contacto. Por favor, dime si algo sucede. Y espero que alguien pueda ayudarte para tener tu vehículo de vuelta.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope so too. Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Y bueno, amigas y amigos, este video llegó a su fin. Les agradezco que se hayan quedado hasta esta parte con nosotros. Recuerde que todos los martes y viernes son días de podcast, un capítulo nuevo. Y también recuerde que estamos en todas las redes sociales. Ya tenemos Twitch, ya estoy en el control de Twitter y estamos también en Facebook, YouTube e Instagram. Y también recuerde que tenemos las membresías para que acceda a este contenido exclusivo, el cual por 49 pesitos al mes se lo puede llevar aquí en YouTube. Muchísimas gracias. Yo soy Ricardo Guzmán y nos vemos en la próxima.